Hey guys, Zach here, and today we're going to be reviewing the Mercy by Latitude 64.
Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
The Mercy comes in multiple different plastics. It comes in gold line, recycled, zero line, and retro. Alright, here we have the gold line Mercy. Again, the Mercy is a beadless putter. It is going to be similar to that of a putt and approach AVR. The shoulders on it are not very tall, so in my opinion it is a somewhat lower profile disc, and it does fit nicely in the hand. And I do have relatively big hands, as you can see here, and I can get a good grip on it and get my fingers into the rim a good amount. And the gold line plastic is Latitude's premium plastic, so it's going to be similar to ESP and Star plastic. So it's supposed to take some hits and will last you a long time, and it's going to take quite a while to actually beat in. Now in my opinion, this plastic is very tacky. It does have a little bit of a give to it, as you can see by the reflection in the light. And I'm pressing kind of hard on the plastic to do that. If I press really hard, obviously you can get any disc to flex, but if I'm holding it at a normal grip, it's not really flexing too much, but I can get my thumb in there a good amount. As for the recycled plastic, the recycled is going to be similar to that of EcoStar. It is premium plastic, but it's made in a way that the premium plastic disc is actually going to wear in a little quicker than the normal gold line. Now again, it has the same feel. It's a little tackier, in my opinion, in the recycled plastic than the gold. And also it seems to be a little firmer. So the same grip that I was holding the gold line in, it doesn't give quite as much, but it still has a little give to it, as you can see here. And I do like the feel of it a lot. Next I have the Zero Soft Mercy. The Zero plastic comes in soft, medium, and hard. It also comes in Mega Soft for a couple other molds, but it's not offered in the Mercy mold. Now, I do have a couple other discs that are in the medium and hard plastic that I can show you for relativity, but I don't actually have those in the Mercy, but they are similar to the other plastic that I'll show you, which is the retro line. Now again, just like any soft plastic, it is going to be really soft, so you can flex this pretty easily. A normal putter hold, it's actually going to get the thumb in there pretty deep. But what I do like about their plastics, especially these Zero plastics, are they are extremely tacky, and the feel of them is always the same across the board from my experience. So anything in the Zero soft plastic, I would expect to feel the same as this. Same with the medium, the hard, and even the gold line, the retro line, and the recycled plastics. Personally, I really like this a lot. I'm not sure how quickly it's going to beat up. I would imagine fairly quickly, but we will soon find out. So for relevance, I have a Zero medium dagger. This is significantly harder than the soft plastic, so it's not going to actually bend as much, but it does have some give to it. And then here I have a Zero hard dagger, and this is going to be like the least flex that you're going to get out of any of them. Can't, like, if you try really hard with any disc, you can obviously flex it, but the same pressure that I put on the others, it does not flex nearly as much. And here I have the retro line Mercy. In my opinion, this is actually in between the Zero medium and the Zero hard. This was actually developed to be one of those discs that they used to throw back in the day, many years ago. I'm not sure how similar it actually is. I do know that I really like the feel of this. It does have some give to it. It does not have the same flex as the medium does, but it is not as brick hard as the Zero Hard is. And it, again, is very tacky. And I do really like the feel of this one a lot. This one is probably my favorite out of all the plastics that this is offered in. Now, moving on, we're going to talk about the flight numbers of the disc. The numbers are 2, 4, 0, and 1. And these numbers stand for the speed, the glide, the turn, and the fade. Now, these numbers are usually pretty good at representing what the disc is likely going to do for most people. But the best way to actually learn what the disc is going to do is to actually go out and throw it. Now, these numbers could represent the exact same thing for everybody if everyone's arm speed, snap, and everything were all exactly the same. But in most cases, they're not. Everyone is unique. Same thing with their form. So these are a good reference point to get a good generalized idea of what the disc is meant to do, how fast it's going to be, and how stable, understable, or overstable the disc will actually be. So as I said, the best way to actually learn the disc is to go to a field and throw them every which way possible. And just to get a feel of what they're actually going to do, on how hard you throw them, how soft you throw them, on every single angle that you possibly can think of. So let's go to the field. So at first I started out throwing all these discs on hyzers. Hyzers are going to be the basic shot that everyone's going to learn to throw. And I was throwing these at about 80% or so. I wanted to see how well they actually hold the hyzer, if they're actually stable enough to hold it, or if they're going to dump over on me. So I was actually throwing the gold line ones first. Well, the gold line and the recycled, followed by the zero, and then the retro line. And they all seem to hold up very well. I would throw them on a slight hyzer, and I would throw them up near the tree line, and they would actually glide out and fade. Not very hard, but they would actually fade left a good portion. I did find that the gold line one tended to get to the ground a little quicker, so maybe that one was a little more stable than the rest, but they did have a good glide. They stood up maybe a 1 degree or so, but they didn't do anything like flatten out, and then I was questioning if it was actually going to hyzer out. It had a consistent finish every single time. And next I wanted to go throw them on anhyzer. For the same reason, I wanted to see if it was going to hold the anhyzer, if it was going to fight out of it, or if it was going to dump over on me. I wanted to see how touchy they were and how well it would hold the anhyzer line. And again, I found out that the gold line one was a little more stable than the rest, but they did hold the anhyzer line very well, and they didn't dump over on me. And they were just kind of gliding really slow and just holding that line. They weren't dumping over to the ground, and they weren't fighting out of it very hard. The only one that seemed to do that for me a little bit was the gold line. It would start on an anhyzer, and it would start gliding to the right, and it panned out a little quicker than the rest, but it still finished to the right and landed flat. And I was very pleased with how it was actually flying. And lastly, I wanted to throw them on straight shots, and I wanted to throw them basically as far as I could. I wanted to see, again, if they would actually hold the flat line and see how far they would actually go, and if there was a lot of play left or right, if it would fade off harder left at the end of the flight, or if it was going to turn over rather quickly in the beginning of the flight, and how well it was actually going to retain that snap on that line. And what I found out, again, I was very pleased with, is that it's a very stable disc. That doesn't mean that it's overstable, like, say, a Justice or a Gator or anything like that, or even a Zone or Harp, nor was it understable, like, say, a Roadrunner or Tursus or Comet or anything like that. It's a very slow putter, but it is straight and stable, and it's, by the end of the session, it was one of my more favorite discs that I've actually thrown, and I'm probably going to be bagging this disc by the end of this video. I was actually able to get these going about 300 feet or so, just shy and just a little longer. And again, I did find that the Goldline Mercy and all these shots tended to be a little more stable no matter how hard I was actually throwing it, which is really nice. And again, it is in that premium plastic, so it's going to stay is going to stay stable for me longer than the rest. And then the other ones by the end of the sessions tended to have a little more wear in them. I was recording this for about maybe 12 hours total, so that's a lot of throws with all these discs. And overall, I'm really happy with how it was actually flying for me out there. So to really put these discs a little more to the test, I went to a couple holes that displayed the 3 types of shots that I was throwing out in the field. I went to a hole that was a slight hyzer hole that's about 250 feet. I went to another hole that is a straight line hole that again is about 225 to 250 feet. And then I went to a third hole that was slightly uphill, and it was an Anheuser style shot, also again about 200 to 230 feet. Because that's about the distance that I would say most people are looking to throw a putter on. Depending on the layout, maybe they'll throw mid-range, but me personally, these are the holes that I would throw a putter on, and I wanted to see how consistent that they would be on those holes. And overall, I was very pleased, and I'll let you guys go take a look. Alright guys, there you have it. Personally, I really enjoyed throwing this disc. I find it a very versatile disc. It's going to do basically anything it is that you want within the realm of possibility. It's a very neutral disc, so you can get it to go straight. You can throw it on nice anhyzers, get a little hyzer out of it. I wouldn't say that it is a great headwind disc if you're looking for something like that, but definitely in a tailwind you're going to get some more distance. And overall, again, I'd give this disc a 10 out of 10 for what it is. Personally, I like a no bead on a throwing putter. It's got a good stability to it that I can really crank on it. I can get it to go hyzer. I can get a big anhyzer out of it. And if I really feel like doing it, then I can throw it upwards of 300 feet or so on a straight line, maybe get a little turn out of it, maybe a little hyzer at the end. But overall, again, I really loved this disc and had a lot of fun throwing it. And I would definitely recommend picking one up. Now, if you don't actually like spending money on discs, well, you're in luck, because I'm giving these away for free. And it's really easy, and the way to win is you have to be a subscriber. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click the button down below. And then go ahead and leave a comment on what putters it is that you like throwing off the tee. What is it that you find comfortable in the hand, and what do you like? Do you like something that's usually a little more overstable or a little understable? Let me know what you guys think, and thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and we'll catch you guys next time.